Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I am crafting with Yana's new Christmas collection. It's called De-Light-Ful Christmas and I have already done a lot of glimmering. You'll find that there are a lot of glimmer plates in this collection, and in my previous video, I showed a bunch of glimmering. I haven't used all of the panels that I glimmered up that day, but I thought that I would film myself using the one that I glimmered onto vellum because I thought that turned out pretty nicely, and it was the first time I have ever glimmered onto vellum, and the look of it is pretty good. I like it. It's something different. Subtle, but different. And when I glimmer up these panels, I don't 100% have a card in mind for how I'm going to use it. So a bit of this video, I was just experimenting with some different ideas. And the idea that I had was I would use one of the glimmered sentiments, and I wanted to use one of the big ones, the one that is nice, and it's multi-line, it's got beautiful scripty font, but combined with some sort of I guess block lettering in a smaller font type. So the sentiment reads, "May your days be merry and bright." But the words days, merry, and the word bright are larger, and it's really wonderful. It can really stand as sort of the focal of image of a card. And so that's what I was going for. I wanted to keep everything kind of minimalistic just so that one, the glimmered design of the holly leaves really stands out as a feature, and the glimmered sentiment stands out too. So what I've done is I took some of the gold mirror card that came in the Make It Merry card making kit. I love getting the mirror card in the card kits, so I often I kind of hoarded it a little bit. But I brought it out for this occasion, and I've die cut a gold frame. The challenge with using vellum is that when you go to glue this down, you might actually see where that glue has been placed, how it may look a little bit different as compared to areas where there isn't glue. One of the things that I do to get by that is I'll just put a solvent glue across the entire panel so that everything has glue behind it, and then everything looks the same. Another way that you can address that is to do what I'm doing here, which is to frame it and put something above it or on top of it. And that way the glue behind that isn't going to be visible. And I think my mat here had a little something red. It must have been from the previous card where I was using Delicata ink to stencil, because the holly background glimmer plate has a coordinating stencil that goes with it, and it's a layering stencil, or not a layering stencil, it's actually just a multi-pack stencil, because the stencils don't actually layer on top of one another. They actually let you ink through different areas of the design. And so I thought with this card I would do a little bit of partial die cutting, and that way I can just have something a little bit unusual, a little bit different. So I've actually cut through all the way off the side of the card, and I couldn't wipe off that little speck of red, so I just decided to die cut it off. So I've got this circle that I've also die cut from that same gold mirror card, and I am inlaying that right through the aperture that I've cut through the front of the card. So I'm gluing this onto the inside of the card, and I will put my sentiment right into that circle. And the sentiment does have a coordinating die to go with it, and so it fits perfectly within there. I did make sure as I was placing my circle before I die cut through the front of my card to make sure that I could still fit the sentiment on there. And it's just a different look that I don't often do, and so I thought it would be nice to have just that little aperture, and when you open the card you can still there's still space to write your message, but the inside is also decorated now. Now onto my second card. I am featuring the 3D embossing folder, and this is wonderful. It's got a similar design as the Holly Leaves and Berries glimmer plate, and it's really great. And I figure let's make another card using vellum. So I decided to emboss a panel that I've cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And the nice thing about embossing vellum is that it creates those white sort of distressed marks as it's kind of forming or shaping the vellum, and it's really a neat look. I really like the look of it, so I don't feel like I need to do too much more to this, but I wanted to put this in front of something so that it can maybe elevate the design a little bit, and also have there be a reason for this to have been embossed onto vellum, because putting it onto white looks great, but then you could have just embossed, I guess, a white panel and gotten a similar, not exactly the same look, but a similar look. So I wanted to back it with something, and I pulled out the paper pad from the Make It Merry kit, and it worked out great. There was quite a few actually different designs I was debating between, but the design that I picked out, first off, I love, because I love any design with typography in it, and so it's a really lovely pattern that has some typography, just like a repeat. I haven't even read through what exactly it says, but but it's just really nice because it's got that gold foiling in that scripty kind of handwriting font, and so I thought that would be nice, as I plan on also including another sentiment from Yana's new collection, and this is the other sentiment that is pretty large, and it says, "Have yourself a merry little Christmas," and it's designed in the same way where it's got that mix of fonts, and you have the larger, more scripty fonts in some of the words have Merry and Christmas, and then the other words in the sentiment are little block lettering. So really love that. The whole mix match of fonts I really love. And so I thought that would be a nice one to pair with this pattern paper. And because I glimmered gold onto white, I did want to leave a little bit of a white border all the way around on my card base. So I did trim my pattern paper to just a smidge smaller than USA 2. I think I went with 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So really not much of a border at all. And initially I trimmed down my vellum to be the exact same size as my pattern paper, thinking that I would cover the entire panel of pattern paper with the vellum. But then I thought that having a little bit of the gold foil in the pattern paper visible would look nicer, because it's so nice. It would be a shame to cover the whole thing up. And so I did end up trimming that to be even smaller. And I think I went with a 3, just shy of 1/4 of an inch border all the way around. It might have been 3/16 of an inch all the way around. And with this, because I have that large sentiment, that's where I attached the vellum to my card base. So there's glue on the vellum, but only behind where the sentiment actually blocks it. So the corners do lift up, but it is enough to hold it secure. So that's how I've attached that one. I hope that you like my 2 cards today. Let me know if you have a favorite between the 2. Thanks for joining me on this one, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.